Another week, another no direct. What the heck is going on? When are we going to get that thing? It better be soon. And honestly, I think it has to be. If it wasn't this week, maybe it'll be next week, perhaps the week after. But once we run into Animal Crossing, like, Nintendo's got nothing announced past that, so they have to spill the beans. But luckily, in the meantime, we've got plenty of other developers and publishers who are always willing to toss their beans at us. And that's why I'm happy to bring you 9 new Switch games announced this week for your potential future pleasure. Make sure to check out our sister series, 3 new eShop games in 10 minutes or less, where I check out 3 new eShop games in 10 minutes or less and see if they're worth it or not. Let's talk about some interesting games coming out in the future. Let me know which of these looks the best to you in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are having a good week. The first on our menu is Served. See what I did there? Served is, it reminds me of Overcooked. So anything that reminds me of Overcooked, you know it's getting the first spot. Served is coming to Switch on February 27th, but this game is a racing game. It is a gourmet racer where you 1 to 4 players are racing around 8 different restaurant circuits. There are 4 characters that each have a weapon, and you're trying to make sure you get through the restaurant first. It says there's boost and nervous systems that overturn the race. It looks kind of like quick, quirky fun, and I'm always down for something unique like this, like Astro Bears. Things of that sort just always appeal to me. Speedrunners is fantastic. I don't know if this looks like it has as much depth as Speedrunners or Overcooked, but it kind of combines the two, and I'm down to give it a go. So that one releases in 2 weeks. It's got a very nice art style. I like the color palette. I even like the pause screen. So I'm down to give this one a roll. It looks like it's only $5.99 as well. So, your return needs to be pretty minimal to have fun with this. It's like less than half a movie ticket. So I've got my eyes on that one. Relic Hunters Zero Remix is coming to Switcheroo. This is a PC game that is adding additional content that wasn't part of the PC version. It's free on PC, so I'm curious what they're going to do on Switch. It honestly looks pretty darn cool. They say that it is coming, I'm not sure when, but it looks pretty darn sweet. When it does launch, I definitely will keep my eyes on it. It's just coming soon right now. It is a dual stick shooter. It's got, again, very cool characters. I think an inspired color palette. It says that you will be utilizing 7 different players, up to 2-player couch co-op, and doing your best to collect elite guns, assemble powerful artifacts, and face Duke Nukem with a friend or on the go. Longtime hunters will find new weapons, new art, new music, and a host of bug fixes and optimization when they return to the game. At first, I thought this was more of like a roguelite, but I don't think it is. There's a 12-level adventure mode. There's an endless mode. There's a storm mode that sort of sounds like a horde mode. And you are using weapons that the community built. I mean, obviously there's some weapons within the game, but then it says you'll take on tough enemies and bosses with some weapons built by the game's very own community. It's got achievements in the game, cool cast of characters. I'm interested in this one. Again, it's free on Steam, so I hope it's either free or very cheap on Switch. Occasionally you'll have a game that goes from costing barely anything on other platforms to like $10, $15, $20 on Switch. So I hope that's not the case with this one, because it does look cute. I mean, it reminds me a lot of like Nuclear Throne, but also kind of like Super Time Force X-esque, if you remember that game. Today is not the day to think about X's. What are you guys doing? Let's move on to the next game, which was a game I was interested in years ago, but on a far older platform. Jaeger Union Will Never Fight Alone came out on Game Boy Advance in 2006 and PSP in 2008. And this is one of those games I used to sit there and obsessively like look for what game I wanted to get. Back then, I'd only get a couple games across all platforms. It was like, dude, do I want a freaking PS2 game? Do I want a Game Boy game? What do I want? And Jaeger Union was one that I never got, but I always looked at. I thought the art style was really charming. Back then, I was a much bigger RPG player. This is cool because it's card-based tactical combat meets real-time action. But the important thing to note is that it is coming to Switch next month, March 5th, in Japan. I hope that they bring it to the US, because I do think it is a pretty darn cool game, and one that I wanted to play back then, so now I have a chance to play it, which would be really neat. I don't know that it will, because of its limited appeal. Now, Atlas USA localized the GBA and PSP versions for the US, so that gives us hope. There was an iOS and Android version released last spring, but that was only in Japan. So I'm not sure if Jaeger Union will come here if you can, if you're okay with it being in Japanese, then you can grab it there. I hope it comes here so I finally get a chance to play it, because I love card-based combat games. I guess I loved them back then. I didn't even know about it, but this is, well over a decade before stuff like SteamWorld Quest and Slay the Spire and games of that sort. Anyhow, Jaeger Union, March 5th in Japan. All right, 30XX has been announced. Now, they haven't said specific platforms, but 20XX was a big deal on Switch, so I'm sure 30XX is going to be coming to Switch as well. It's hitting in 2021, which literally sounds like a lifetime away, but it's actually just next year. It's going to be at PAX East. A lot of these games are going to be at PAX East, I believe. So this is taking 20XX, which is the Mega Man-inspired game, roguelike, going through and taking down enemies, bosses. This one, better graphics, characters are more distinct, new abilities, of course, and then they say it brings a fresh level of roguelike challenge and reward with a new metagame currency. You know how much I love metagame currency. Okay, so I love roguelites like, for example, Enter the Gungeon has it, where you go through the level, you upgrade within the run, but then outside the run, you can use currency that you acquired to better your next run, better your character. Or Flint Hook does a really nice job of progressing the meta. I recently played a PC game called Scourgebringer, which I really hope that they bring to Switch, that has nice meta as well. And they're saying this is going to have a new meta currency. So collected during runs, Memoria currency can augment the experience, boosting character abilities, giving keen insight into the challenges to come, or altering how stages generate helping hands. Once certain criteria are met, turn up the heat with entropy conditions, introducing optional layers of additional difficulty in exchange for Memoria and other rewards. So you can boost the difficulty for better rewards. You can get helping hands throughout the levels, which I assume are like NPCs that are going to make things easier. And the heroes Nina and Ace from 20XX return with a whole bunch of new abilities. So, pretty cool. Co-op. Action, platformer, roguelike blend. Mega Man loves you, and he's back for more. There's so many good Mega Mans on Switch. It's impressive how it's become like the Mega Man hub, right? The Zero games are coming soon. We've got obviously X and the OG Mega Mans, 20XX, 30XX. Like it's a platformer for games of that sort. Even you could say like games like Shovel Knight have like Mega Man feel. So it's. Did you know that the Switch is the home for Mega Man? Now you do. This one made me literally say, oh my god, when I saw the trailer. There's two trailers. There is a gameplay trailer, and then there is a announcement hype trailer, but oh, it's not hype for me. It's just pure terror. It's called Terror Squid, and this trailer with people spitting out squid goo out of their mouth is just, it's something else, especially with the oh my gosh. Are you witnessing this? Terror Squid comes to Switch this spring. It is a score attack synth nightmare game. Now, it's far less scary when you see the gameplay. It just looks like a very intense hardcore shooter. But it is creepy as heck, and I guess it did its job. It attracted my eyeballs and garnered my attention real fast, whereas maybe the gameplay wouldn't have done that. It's supposedly a bite-sized, endlessly addictive arcade game. If it's cheap, it could be interesting. I may have to grab it just because this Terror Squid has infected my mind, and now I am forever nightmarishly scarred by this psychotic trailer. Ugh. All right, Cloudpunk was recently announced, and it's coming to Switch this year. This one looks really neat. It was initially only headed to PC, but now it's coming to Nintendo Switch. It says it's inspired by Firewatch and Kentucky Route Zero, so that's why it instantly is appealing to me. Love games like that. In this one, you are exploring an open-world cyberpunk city. With your hover car and on foot, you get to unravel mysteries in a world of corporate conspiracy, hackers, and rogue AI. Meet a whole bunch of characters, make decisions that have a lasting impact on the inhabitants of the city, discover hidden places and hidden items. It looks to be much more explorative, story-based than, gameplay or puzzles. But you get to fly this hover car around a very neon, nice cyberpunk city. They promise a lot of verticality. It looks really good. It's a voxel-based game. I'm going to keep my eyes on this. I don't know when it's releasing, but it definitely looks pretty freaking cool. And if you don't have the console for Cyberpunk, then you can play Cloudpunk later on Switch. Spirit of the North is a Fox game. Now, when I heard it was a Fox game, I said, okay, this is probably like a 2D thing or a really basic graph. Spirit of the North is really beautiful. Spirit of the North is coming to PC and Nintendo Switch. It looks really, really nice. You are a red fox in a single-player, third-person adventure game inspired by the breathtaking, mysterious landscapes of Iceland. I recently was in Iceland accidentally. My flight got delayed and canceled from Iceland to Denmark. It was supposed to be a layover last year, and I got to spend the day in Iceland, and it was crazy. It literally looked like an alien planet. So I'm excited to spend more time in Iceland in Spirit of the North. You'll be solving puzzles, exploring the landscape. It looks to be more of a game where you will just be almost like Journey or something of that sort, light puzzle solving, more explorative, but it looks really, really pretty. Like, I'm impressed by how nice the environments and stuff look. I don't know if it'll be any fun, but it's beautiful. Supposedly it's touching and memorable. It's got nice music, a nice fox, a big bushy tail, and hopefully a solid price point, because I will keep my eyes on this one. It's supposed to be this spring, no set date. Climber Sky is the limit. If you like ice, if you like being in the snow, if you're more of a human type person than a fox type person, maybe you want to check out Climber Sky is the Limit, which is a climbing simulator and survival game coming to Nintendo Switch next year. They say it simulates the climbing and expedition of some of the world's highest and most dangerous mountains: Everest, Broad Peak, K2. First-person, realistic survival climbing sim. If you ever saw the movie Everest, I think that's an underrated movie. But goodness gracious, did it make me never want to climb a big mountain like this. But if I can climb the mountain from the safety of my Nintendo Switch in my bed, then maybe that could be fun. It honestly looks kind of neat. I don't know if it'll be a game that's just so simulation-ish that it's not going to appeal to me, or if it's going to have a little bit more survival, so maybe it'll be fun. It could probably go either way. It's a long ways away, so we'll have to wait and see. No date nor cost has been established as of yet, but it does look pretty cool. They say you're going to be planning your climbs as well, financially, resource management, fundraising, food and equipment, so maybe it is more survival than just sim. I don't know. It could be kind of neat. The last game is for the old souls. Later Daters is hitting Nintendo Switch April 16th of this year. It is a game about old people dating. It shows that life really does begin at age 60 as you arrive as the newest resident in ye old retirement community. Here you'll join a cast of flirts and lovemakers on the prowl who don't subscribe to the stereotypes about the elderly. They're not necessarily grandparents and certainly don't exist in some desexualized world of daytime bingo. I don't know. This one sounds interesting. It looks completely weird. It could be throwaway, but I like the idea. You know, we've had like boyfriend pigeon games. We've had weird dog daddy dating sims, but old people nursing home dating, that's a new one. And hey, it's coming to Switch on April 16th. Not in time for Valentine's Day, but if if your love was lost or you couldn't find any on Valentine's Day, well, you don't have much to wait, 2 months, and you'll be able to date old people in later daters, which is a weird and wild thing to say. But hey, this list has been all over the place, from gourmet races through the kitchen to cooperative Mega Man action, old school card-based tactical RPGs from 2006, Terror Squid spitting black goo everywhere, giant cyberpunk cities in Cloudpunk, playing as a fox, playing as a dude, climbing the snow, exploring Iceland, and dating in a nursing home. That's about as eclectic as it gets, and shows how gaming brings things full circle by literally hitting every point on the circle for every kind of game it could be. What do you guys think? Which ones are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments down below. My picks are gonna be... I honestly think this Relic Hunters Zero Remix game looks pretty cool, and it has very positive reviews on Steam, so that has me excited. Cloudpunk could be good. If the story is solid, they say they're inspired by Firewatch. I love Firewatch. Firewatch was a magical special game. I don't know that Cloudpunk will reach those heights, but I'm willing to give it a check. Willing to give it, a look. And then I think Serve could be fun. Like I said, it kind of merges two of my favorite indie multiplayer games in Overcooked and Speedrunner, so we'll have to wait and see. But let me know your picks in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out the other series where we play 3 games released this week. Until next time, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Be good to yourself and others out there. I love you a lot. And until next time, SwitchForce out.